Found my husband's dating profile. His requirements made me burst out laughing. Professor Mitchell? Oh my God, it's really you, the young blonde gasped, dropping her overnight bag on my marble floor. My husband Derek stumbled backward, his face draining of color as he looked between his 22-year-old girlfriend and me. Hello, Jessica, I said calmly, closing my laptop where Derek's dating profile was still displayed. I wasn't expecting you in my home, but since you're here, would you like some tea? We have a lot to discuss about your thesis. Your home. Jessica's voice cracked. This is your house. But Derek said. She turned to him, her expression shifting from confusion to horror. You said you were divorced. You said your ex-wife was some bitter old career woman who chose work over family. I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. The same laugh that had erupted 30 minutes earlier when I'd found his profile. Career-obsessed. Bitter. Oh, Derek, is that what you're calling it now? Let me rewind to this morning, when my perfectly constructed life began its spectacular implosion. I'm Evelyn Mitchell, 43 years old, and yes, career-obsessed by my husband's standards. I'm a neuroscience professor at the university, published researcher, and recently appointed Dean of Graduate Studies. Derek and I have been married for 15 years. No children, my choice initially, then medically impossible after 35. This morning started normally. Derek left for his job at the marketing firm, a job he got through my connections, though he'd never admit it. I was working from home, preparing for dissertation defenses, when my phone buzzed with a text from my colleague Patricia. Evelyn, is everything okay with you and Derek? My daughter saw something online. Attached was a screenshot from an exclusive dating app called Elite Match. The profile read, Derek Mitchell, 45, marketing executive. Looking for a young, under 30 only, feminine woman who values traditional roles. No career-obsessed feminists. No women poisoned by ambition. I offer stability, luxury, and a man who knows his worth. Requirements: must be fit, submissive, and ready to prioritize her man. Divorced after wife chose career over marriage. The profile photo was from our vacation to Santorini last month. I'd taken it myself. I didn't cry. Didn't scream. I laughed. Laughed until my sides hurt, because the audacity was genuinely hilarious. This man, who spent years living off my salary while he found himself, who drove my car, lived in my inherited house, and used my connections. This man had requirements. I spent the morning doing research. Derek wasn't particularly clever about his deception. Same username across platforms, location services on, credit card statements he forgot I could access. 3 months of activity. 12 dates. 5 women under 25. And then I found Jessica Holloway in his messages. My star graduate student. The one writing her thesis on cognitive dissonance in relationship dynamics. The irony was so perfect I actually applauded alone in my study. Their messages were enlightening. Can't wait to spoil you, baby. My ex never appreciated the finer things. You're so different from her. Young, beautiful, unspoiled by feminist propaganda. Tonight at 8. Wear that red dress. I'm bringing you to my place. The ex is at another conference. I wasn't at a conference. I was right here, waiting. The doorbell rang at 8:17. I answered it myself, wearing my most professional outfit, the one I wore when I delivered the keynote at the International Neuroscience Symposium. Good evening, I said pleasantly. You must be Jessica. Derek almost fell over his own feet. Evelyn, you're supposed to be in Chicago. The conference was cancelled due to weather. I stepped aside. Please, come in. Jessica, I believe you're defending your thesis next week. We should discuss your chapter on deceptive relationship patterns. It seems you found some fascinating real-world data. Jessica stood frozen in the doorway. Professor Mitchell, I didn't know, he said he was divorced, that you were. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands, scrolling to Derek's profile. Look, he said right here, divorced, ex-wife chose career over marriage. Interesting, I mused, reading over her shoulder. Derek, you listed your income as $250,000. That's remarkable, considering your actual salary is $65,000. Should I assume you're including my income in that figure? Evelyn, I can explain. Please do. Jessica deserves to hear this. I turned to my student, whose face was cycling through shades of pale. Jessica, did Derek mention that we're not divorced? That I'm not his ex-wife but his very current wife? Or that this house he brought you to belongs to me, inherited from my grandmother? I'm going to be sick, Jessica whispered. The bathroom is down the hall, I said kindly. Take your time. As Jessica fled, Derek attempted damage control. Evelyn, it's not what it looks like. It looks like you're having an affair with my graduate student while pretending to be divorced and wealthy. I pulled up his dating profile on my laptop. Let's review your requirements, shall we? No career-obsessed feminists. Derek, when we met, you said my ambition was sexy. You loved having a successful girlfriend. That was before. Before I became more successful than you. I clicked through his messages. Look at this one. My ex never understood that a man needs to feel like a man. Derek, what exactly stopped you from feeling like a man? My salary? My publications? Or was it when the university president asked for me by name at the gala and forgot you were there? His face turned purple. You emasculated me. I eclipsed you. There's a difference. I heard Jessica returning, her face blotchy from crying. Jessica, I'm not angry with you. You were deceived. But I am curious, what did Derek tell you about his ex-wife? Jessica sank into a chair, looking miserable. He said you were 45. 43. Bitter about aging, couldn't have children because you prioritized career, and that you'd become cold and unlovable. He said you threw him out when he suggested couples therapy. I laughed again. Derek, you suggested couples therapy? When? During your trip to Vegas with your secretary? Or during the golf weekends that mysteriously had no golf charges? You knew. Derek gasped. I'm a neuroscientist, Derek. I study human behavior for a living. Did you really think I couldn't recognize the patterns of deception? I turned to Jessica. Your thesis is on cognitive dissonance in relationships. Tell me, what do you observe here? Jessica straightened, her academic training overriding her personal distress. Subject presents classic narcissistic injury response to partner's success. Creates false narrative to justify unethical behavior. Projects his own insecurities onto his partner, labeling her achievements as character flaws. Excellent analysis. A+ work. Stop it. Derek shouted. Stop treating this like one of your lectures. But it is educational, I said. Jessica, did Derek mention that his marketing firm's biggest client is the university? Specifically, my department? Or that his boss is my former roommate who gave him the job as a favor to me? Jessica's eyes widened. He said he built his career from nothing. Self-made. Self-made with my connections, my networking, my reputation opening doors. I pulled out my phone. Should we call Linda and tell her about this? I'm sure she'd love to know what her marketing executive is doing with his time. You wouldn't, Derek said. Wouldn't I? Let's see what else you wrote. Women over 30 are bitter and used up. Derek, I'm 43 and just got recruited by Harvard. Meanwhile, you're 45 and still making PowerPoints for other people's ideas. Jessica stood abruptly. I need to leave. Professor Mitchell, I'm so sorry. I'll withdraw from your program. You'll do no such thing, I said firmly. Your thesis is brilliant, and this experience will only make it stronger. Channel this into your work. As for Derek, he's the one leaving. This is my house too. Derek protested. No, it's not. I pulled out a folder I'd prepared earlier. This is the deed. My name only. Inherited property remains separate in our state. Here's the prenup you signed. You were so eager to marry me, you didn't even read it. And here's a list of every purchase made with my money versus yours. Spoiler alert, yours is a very short list. I handed him another document. Divorce papers. Already filed. You have 48 hours to collect your belongings. Only what you can prove you purchased. After 15 years. You're throwing me out for one mistake. One mistake. I pulled up my laptop again. 12 dates in 3 months. That's not a mistake, it's a pattern. Also, I particularly enjoyed this message to someone named Brittany. My ex was one of those women who thinks a PhD makes her special. You're so refreshing, just naturally beautiful without needing accomplishments. Jessica made a disgusted sound. He said intelligence was sexy. Only when it doesn't surpass his own, I explained. It's fascinating, really. Classic fragile ego compensation. Derek grabbed his jacket. You're proving my point. Everything is a lecture with you. No wonder I needed to find someone normal. Normal, I repeated. You mean young and naive enough to believe your lies? I looked at Jessica. How much money has he spent on you, by the way? He paid for everything. Expensive dinners, gifts. With my credit card. I showed them the statements. Derek, you spent $8,000 in 3 months on your dating life. My money. On women who thought you were rich. The silence was deafening. Finally, Jessica spoke, her voice small. He said he owned a tech startup before marketing. He delivered pizzas before I met him, I corrected. Which is honest work, nothing wrong with it. But lying about it, that's pathetic. Derek's phone buzzed. He looked at it, then paled further. Problem? I asked sweetly. Linda knows, he whispered. She's firing me. Yes, I called her an hour ago. Turns out using company time and resources to conduct affairs is against policy. Who knew? Jessica gathered her bag. I'm leaving. Professor Mitchell, I'll see you at my defense. Derek, lose my number. Actually, I'm blocking you now. She tapped her phone viciously. Baby, wait, Derek started. I'm nobody's baby, Jessica snapped. Especially not yours. You're old enough to be my father, you're married, you're a liar, and apparently, you're also broke. Professor Mitchell, would you like to get coffee sometime? I'd love to discuss my thesis with someone who actually has insights. I'd enjoy that, I said warmly. Email me. After Jessica left, Derek stood there, deflated. Where am I supposed to go? I believe Brittany has an apartment. Or maybe one of the other 11 women you've been chatting with. I scrolled through his messages. Oh wait, you told them all you owned a penthouse. Awkward. Evelyn, please. We can work this out. Work what out? You're unemployed, homeless, and about to be very publicly divorced. Your dating profile said you wanted someone under 30 who prioritizes her man. Good luck finding that without money, a home, or a personality. He grabbed his keys. To my car, I noted. This isn't over. Actually, it is. The car's in my name too, by the way. Leave the keys. He threw them on the table and stormed out. I heard him calling an Uber, shouting about the surge pricing. That was 3 months ago. The divorce finalized quickly. Derek couldn't afford a good lawyer, and I could. He got nothing except his clothes and personal items. Last I heard, he was living with his mother, working retail, and his dating profile now says 45, seeking employment, living in transition. Jessica aced her thesis defense. She added a new chapter on narcissistic deception in modern dating with Derek as a case study, anonymized, of course. She's now pursuing her doctorate at Yale. As for me, Harvard's offer was too good to refuse. I start next semester. I bought a beautiful brownstone in Cambridge, where I'll live alone with my books, my research, and my peace. Oh, and I joined Elite Match myself. My profile reads, 43, neuroscientist, Dean of Graduate Studies. Seeking intellectual equal who isn't threatened by success. Must have own career, own home, and own personality. No men under 40. I don't have time to raise another child. I got 847 matches in the first week. Derek's new profile viewed mine yesterday. He didn't match my requirements. I laughed about that too.